Hi, my name is Luke, and today I'm going to be. I can't talk. Today I am going to go through another tutorial, water texture, which you can find on Twitter, Patreon, and possibly on Imgur. Anyway, I'll put the link below so you can find it and go through it. And this is going to be a video of me going through this tutorial myself, so you can see how I do it and hopefully give a little bit more info on certain areas. So, if you're looking at the tutorial or you've seen the tutorial, step one is start with your preferred tile size, which I use is 32 by 32. So we'll just do that, 32 by 32, and we want to tile it on both axes. I'm going to assume that you're familiar with tiling by now. If not, you can look at all my other tutorials. I go through it quite a few times. Anyway, we'll get down to it. We'll start off with this colour over here. I feel is a good start colour. Then we move on to step 2. Add some rings using a lighter colour, then thicken the corners. So what I do here is just take a lighter colour and we add some rings. We don't have to draw perfect circles, not even a little bit perfect. There we go. I mean, half of them aren't even circles. Thicken the corners. What I mean here is where they join up. Just here, just thicken them a little bit, and it will create some. You just making the rings a little bit more circular, so they're not as square as well. Like this, if you see this here, this is definitely not circular, but if we thicken the corners in the direction of this, we can then make it a little bit more circular. More rounded off is the word I'm thinking of, I guess. Anyway, we'll carry on doing that there. Make them lines a little bit thicker. And that corner there. That corner there. This corner here. Make sure all the corners are a little bit thicker. It's a little like webbing. Like a webbed feature. Right, moving on. Step 3. Use a darker colour to create blobs underneath. Now, blobs. It's definitely a peculiar word. So a little darker colour. Let's go with 85. This is very subtle. I might do it a little bit lower. 82, yeah. Okay, so what I want you to do is just go create some more circly shapes, blobby shapes that will go underneath. You could probably do this on layers, but I'm just going to do it this way for now. Just some little darker patches. Don't worry too much about your colours to start with. You can easily change. If you're using a sprite, you can easily change these later on. Oops. We don't want the circles underneath to line up with the circles on top. We want them to be offset a little bit. In my case, quite a bit. There's a little patch here where I feel just a little circle would be okay. Okay, there we go. Now, moving on. The next step would be step 4. Add a few highlights in the corner joints. So I want to take a lighter color here and create some highlights just in this, not bright white, not just yet, just a lighter color. This may even be a bit too light. Okay, just extend them out a little bit so they're going towards each line that's coming out from the corners. Just a little tad. Looks like, just like that, just a little bit. I often find it's quite relaxing, pixel art, compared to traditional and normal art. I don't know what it is, but I always feel that when I'm doing traditional art, I tend to feel a bit stiff and pressured, and it's hard to concentrate. It's probably just a me thing. I have a borderline OCD, and with pixel art, I really just find it calming and relaxing. Anyway, there's a few highlights. Now we're going to take the bright white color and just hint in those highlights we've created at some very bright reflection. And there and over here. Now, as you can see in the preview, it's already looking quite good. And I think that is enough. Yes. Okay. Moving on. The next step in my tutorial is break up some of the original lines. Now, what I mean here is the lines we created the rings with. Break them up using this base color. Take the base color and just break them up a little bit like that. Now you don't have to do this everywhere, just here and there, just a few lines broken up. Just here, there, one or two lines. I think I want to do it here too. Yeah, that's good. Right then, as I said earlier, you don't concentrate too much on your colours unless you're going by some palette that you've made or a palette that someone else has made. Don't worry too much. I haven't created a palette yet. As you see, I've just gone over and picked out some random colours in the blue area. Not worrying too much about it because now I can take a look at, like, this colour looks a little odd. It is it needs a bit more saturation, I think. We don't want to put it in the middle here because that'll look green, and we don't want green water. I mean, it's good if you're gonna U-shift the whole thing, fair enough. But I mean, it's not bad, but we want it to be more blue. Not that much blue, getting too dark. Maybe a little bit more saturation. Yeah. Now, if you're wondering what I'm doing down here and why my RBG wheel is so blocky or even pixelated, it's because I use discrete, which is in this little menu. There you go, it's back to normal. You just click this little menu here and hit discrete. And there we go. There are lots of other little options here where you can use complementary colors. It puts the colors down here. You can use triadic colors. I'm currently sticking on monochromatic because Right now, I haven't figured out a way. Like, for example, if you scroll the mouse wheel, you can move around. If you hold shift down, you can move a bit faster, a bit at a time. I haven't found a way to change the saturation without dragging it and or going in here and obviously changing it that way. I'd like a little shortcut that I can't seem to find where you can stay the same base U value but change the saturation in here so that it stays the same U. Like if you go up here, it's gonna stay the same U. But say I want to go on the edge here, if I click the edge, it's not gonna stay the same U. And if I use it when it's not discrete, it's still not guaranteed to stay the same U value. So I would like some either put this option somewhere where it stays and doesn't go off constantly. Oh, look at that. That seems to work. Then why didn't that work before? That's odd. Yeah, see, look there, it disappears when I do it. But if I drag it, it seems to stay. The little things you learn. There we go. So, problem solved. And that brings us to the end of the tutorial. I hope that you got something out. I learned something, as you can see. I learned that I can now have this here, which is going to make I almost swore. Things a little bit easier. Oh, happy times. Right then, so yeah, that's the tutorial. I'd say it looks quite good, and as you can see, if you followed the tutorial, it also looks good. Just tile by itself. You can add variation, you can add animation, but that's an all-over level. I'm trying to keep this beginner friendly. So if you'd like to support me on Patreon. You can subscribe on YouTube. You can follow me on Twitter. The links are below, and the link to the tutorial will also be below. Thank you for watching. Thank you for everybody that supports me, and I wish you all a good day. Goodbye.